Hi, I'm Devin Alexander, celebrity chef and New York Times bestselling author. How cool would your kids think you are if you sent them to lunch at school with dessert? I'm going to show you how to make this sandwich that I call pumpkin ricotta Yummables that is so delicious and it tastes like dessert. This one definitely won't come home. So we're gonna start by making our own ricotta cheese. Now you don't have to do that if you don't have time, but I strongly encourage you to spend maybe one afternoon a week making a play date with you and your children. Not only will it set them up for success in life because they can cook, but also for health. And this is a little bit of a science project, so my daughter is extremely into it. So you're gonna start by turning your pan on low, and then add some 1%, 2% whole milk, whatever you prefer, but I like to keep things light. You're going to bring this up to 200 degrees, stirring frequently. And you just want it to come to a slow simmer. You don't want it to boil like crazy or the milk will burn. While that's heating up, we're going to make our filling. We're going to start with Signature Farms 100% pure pumpkin. Then I'm going to add a little bit of maple syrup, just about a teaspoon. And this is for more than one sandwich, so it's barely sweetened. Tiny little smidge in there, teaspoon. And then some pumpkin pie spice. Mix these up, and literally, this is your pumpkin pie filling. Again, this is such a great thing to actually do with your kids. They have so much fun mixing and stirring and measuring. Okay, that's all done. Checking on this. Okay, we're getting there. Now you can make this as a traditional sandwich if you're in a hurry, or you can make these really cool roll-ups that make it taste even more dessert-like. So take a slice of your Signature Select nuts and grain bread. If you can't eat nuts or you can't take nuts to school, of course there are many other options, but this is one of my favorites. Flatten a slice of bread with a rolling pin. You can also use a meat mallet or the back of a pan if you don't have a rolling pin. Okay, our ricotta is looking about done. It's nice and bubbling here. Now we're gonna add some lemon juice after taking it off the heat. Then we're gonna add the salt and just stir this. And you'll see pretty quickly that it starts to curdle. This is where the science happens that your kids might get pretty excited about. Then we let that stand for about 10 minutes and it will really curdle. Okay, so to make your roll up, we're going to add your pumpkin filling. This seriously smells like pumpkin pie, even though it just has a tiny, tiny bit of maple syrup to sweeten it. Okay. And then we're going to add the ricotta. Now I'm going to use the store brand. This is what your ricotta is going to look like when you finish. I'm using Lucerne brand because it's absolutely delicious. And again, if you don't want to take the time to make it, you don't have to. But I strongly encourage you to spend some time in the kitchen with your kids. The more time you spend, the more apt they are to try all different sorts of foods. Okay, spread that around. And then you simply are going to roll this up like so. Nice and stuffed. And if a little filling falls out, that's okay. There you go. And then you slice it. Best to use a serrated knife with bread. Cuts it easier. How delicious does that look? If you want to keep it extra fancy, use a paper towel to clean your knife between each slice. But honestly, like my daughter likes things a little messy, so I'm kind of glad they're a mess here and I'm not going to take that time. You get your 5 little pinwheel slices. I mean, as you can see, these are going to be a super kid success because they literally taste like pumpkin pie. Now, if you are making the homemade ricotta, it's super easy to finish that off too. Just take your curdled milk and pour it into a strainer carefully. If your child's around, be extra super careful, obviously. Stir this a little in between to get some of the liquid through. And move this over here. And this whole process really only takes about 20 minutes. We can fit a little more, but you see these beautiful curdles in there? You can tell that this is gonna be perfect ricotta cheese. And again, my daughter is the cutest little science geek, which I mean with love. This gets her so excited. Once this sits for 10 to 20 minutes, you literally get cheese that looks like this. You just stop the draining when it's the consistency that you really like. If you want it a little runnier, that's fine. Or if you want it super thick, that's great too. And then you simply plate it up. I love doing something like this, or obviously pack it in a lunchbox. I often will serve it with cucumber slices. I love the little tangerines or any other fruit your child enjoys. I promise they will love it.